So let's go ahead and get started. Just good afternoon to all of you. Just check your cell phones if you don't mind, just to make sure they're turned off. That would be good. So this is the March 11th, 2025 Hardin County Fiscal Court regular voting meeting. Let's begin and call this meeting to order. Okay, we'll start out with roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Here.
Squire Hicks.
Here.
Squire Muse.
Here.
Squire Pennington.
Here.
Squire Saltzman. Here. Squire Thompson. Squire Whitehead.
Here.
Squire Yates.
Here.
Judge Tall.
Here. Next, we'll have our invocation by Magistrate Pennington and Pledge of Allegiance, Magistrate Hicks.
Please bow your heads with me. Father God, we just thank you for today. We thank you for the sunshine. We thank you for just being able to gather here today. Father, we just thank you for our county, our city, our state. Father, we just thank you for the opportunities that we have to perform our task at hand to ensure that our citizens are well represented and taken care of. And Father, as we hear from our representatives from the water boards and the departments, we thank you in advance for them and for the work that they're doing to provide clean and fresh water to our citizens. And Father, we just thank you for all the services that our citizens are able to receive because of their just and their duties of providing and making sure that we have good, clean water for our citizens. Jesus, we just ask that today and every day you would just be with us, be with our minds, our souls, our bodies. Just allow us to continue to glorify you in everything that we do. It's in your Son's name we pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, so thanks again, everyone, for joining today. It's great to see all of you here. Let's review the agenda real quick. Pretty basic agenda today. We'll approve the minutes from the last meeting. We have several presentations, informative presentations that we'll be listening to, including some department and office reports. We'll have a time of any citizens' concerns or comments. Then we have our kind of a short consent agenda today, and then our typical comments at the end of the meeting. Okay. All right, so we'll just move on then to approving the Hardin County Fiscal Court February 25th, 2025 minutes. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, next we'll move into informational items, and we'll start right off the bat with Water District 1 annual presentation by Justin Metz.
Thank you, everyone. I appreciate, my name is Justin Metz, General Manager for Hardin County Water District Number 1. I appreciate you affording me the opportunity to come here and give a little update on what Hardin County Water District Number 1's had going on. So your monitor, hopefully, in front of you, however you guys look at that, should. I'll start off, unfortunately, with a little bit of sad news. Our board lost 2 of its members in the past year. Chairman William Gossett, he was a board member for nearly 26 years. And the chairman for the past 11 years that he served on the board, and he passed away in May of 2024. And then, unfortunately, Jimmy Shelton was elected our treasurer not too long ago, and he passed away kind of unexpectedly at the end of February. So those have been 2 pretty big losses from our board, from the district, and really from the community, Hardin County community. They were really good men, did a lot of good stuff, and helped a lot of people, so they will be sorely missed. Our current board, Chairman John Tyndall on the left.
Is this, excuse me, is this still sad news, or is this good news now?
We're on the good news. This is the good stuff.
Sorry.
Yep. Chairman John Tyndall, our secretary is Ron Hockman, Commissioner Bill Hartley, he joined the board in June 2024, and Miss Whitney Taylor, joined our board in July 2024. And we'll be due to Judge Tall to appoint another board member to fill us out to a full 5. As far as our team update, our staff at Hardin County Water District Number 1, our organization chart consists of 71 team members. That does not include our 5 board members. Of those 71 team members, 33 of those are Class 4 certified in the state of Kentucky, and that is an increase of 5 from last year. We have 7 of our team members that are Class 3 certified, and that's an increase of 1 from last year for Class 3. And Class 2, we still had 1 last year and still have 1 now, no change there. And we have 3 Class 1 certified individuals, and that's an increase of 1. That count of 44 certified individuals out of 71 has 62% of our staff is certified in the water or wastewater profession in the state of Kentucky. Our update on our kind of our customer update, our county water system serves 11,300 active customers, and we wholesale 100% of the water to Meade County Water District. Their customer count's 5,705, and the city of Vine Grove, we also wholesale 100% of water to them, and their customer count is 3,066. So our total water volume we serve out of our county water system is to 20,071 residents. Our Fort Knox water system, that's a population number there, 7,750 to 23,000. That's we don't have a meter count on Fort Knox. We only read 66 meters at Fort Knox. So we give you a population number there. That higher number is due to the summertime. Cadet Summer Training Command comes in and the population on Fort Knox dramatically increases. And the Fort Knox water system supplies 100% of the water to the city of Muldrow, and they have 415 customers in the city of Muldrow. As far as our sewer side, our Radcliffe sewer system has 9,464 customers, and our West Point sewer system has 380 customers. We treat these 2 utilities in the same fund, and I'll touch on that momentarily, but they are 2 independent systems, and they have their own collection system and treatment plant to serve the communities that they're in. And our Fort Knox wastewater system, again, the same population count, and all the wastewater from the city of Muldrow is pumped to the Fort Knox wastewater system, so that customer count's the same as well. A financial update on District 1, our 2025 consolidated revenue projections is just over $22 million. We do consist of 5 distinct enterprise utility funds. You can see the breakdown on the lower right, but our county water system makes up 40% of Hardin County Water District Number 1's revenues. Radcliffe sewer system makes up 25%, and again, the West Point system is included within the Radcliffe sewer fund. Our Fort Knox water and Fort Knox sewer, very close there on their breakdown, 17-16, and stormwater is 2%. And then just a kind of a scorecard from last year. Our budget projections last year was $21,859,000. Our actual, we came in at $19 million, so our revenues were lower than projected. And then our expenses projections there would have $18 million in expenses, and we were able to control those down to $16 million. So the good news being, and the scorecard there, is that we were able to keep a margin of 0.4% greater than we originally projected. So despite lower revenues, we also keep expenses lower to keep our margins in check. Grant funding update. We have been awarded $4,139,000 of cleaner water grant dollars through KIA. And an update, as you guys well know and we're very appreciative of, is the ARPA dollars we got through Hardin County Fiscal Court. And that was been $5.55 million that you guys have awarded to Hardin County Water District Number 1. And I'll touch on where that money's going and how it's being used to give you an update on that. and utilized so far of those grant dollars. We've utilized 4.1 million of the ARPA grant dollars already, so we're moving through those funds and getting projects done pretty rapidly. And we've used 1.32 million of the KIA grant funds. This project here, our phase 1 expansion down unserved roads in the more rural part of our county water system. It was a $1.93 million project. 1.8 million of that was funded by ARPA grant dollars that you guys awarded to us. And that put water down Greg Smallwood Road, very top of your screen, Constantine Road, far left of your screen, and Needham and Laurel Ridge Road, kind of down at the bottom there. That expanded water about 35,500 feet of new water line down those previously unserved roads. And to give you a note here on just how important the grant dollars are, the house count, the active residences along these roads where new water mains got laid, there's 42 existing residences along those roads. There's only been 12 new taps installed on these water lines, and they've been in service for right at a year now. So to give you an idea of $1.93 million to get water to 12 customers is almost $161,000 almost per customer as it lays right now. So that would basically be impossible without grant funding to help make that happen. So all those citizens, I can assure you, are greatly appreciative of being awarded those grant dollars, and we appreciate given the opportunity to expand that and get that water service to them. Phase 1 had to happen first so that we could connect some lines together. So phase 2, we actively just put that out to bid. It's been awarded. The contractor has started, and that one's going to put water down Roy Road. That's the very bottom of your screen, that red line. The far left, after we expanded Constantine Road, we're now able to bring water down Pierce Mill Road. That's the red line on your far left. A few other ones there. Fuller's on the right side of your screen. Johnny Goodman Lane, Slaughter Road, Tyson Lane, and Rineyville Big Spring Road are some other red lines in there, but that's where we are going with phase 2 right now, and the contractor is actively on site laying water pipe as we speak. And these are the last parts of our system. We have 305 miles of water main in our county water system, and after we finish this project of about 38,000 more feet, there'll be approximately 10 miles left of public roads in our service territory, Hardin County Water District 1 service territory, that don't have a water main down them. That's right around 97% of our service territory is served with public water. A note there, like I said, this project is just now underway, so we've only had 2 new taps installed on this phase 2, and that's on Roy Road. I'm pretty sure those 2 are. An update here to highlight some of our efficiencies we gained, but through $1 million of ARPA dollars that you've awarded District 1, we did these 3 projects along with some other funding that we had, but we outfitted a 4th filter at our Purtle plant. We got that raw water pump station completely finished at Gray Lane, and our Brizanine booster station project has been completed. But those 3 projects all contributed to a greater efficiency for our county water system to produce 18% more water in 2024 than the previous year. That equates to another 170 million gallons of water came out of that same water treatment plant just because we were able to complete some of these projects. So our efficiencies went way up there with the same, essentially the same resources as far as staffing. Our AMI project, fixed base meter reading, this one, disappointed to have to tell you this one's not further along, but that's mostly attributed to lead times on equipment. So the endpoints that we connect to the meter in every meter pit, in the southwest corner of your screen, the left side of your screen, but the southwest part of our county water system, the rural section there, we are putting in cellular endpoints so that they will be able to get their signal out of the meter read. We'll go to a cell tower and get it into the cloud, and then it'll come down to our servers, and we'll get the meter reading data that way. Getting that equipment in has been a lead time issue, but as soon as that's in, and I'm hoping the truck arrives this week, but we'll have those installed by April. and we'll be at 97% of our whole entire county water system will be reading on the fixed-base meter reading system. It's at 87% right now, and at this time last year it was at 73%. So we're just at 14% improvement right now, but in a month from now I'll be able to tell you even better news on that one. So we did get the hydrant in at Volunteer Fire Department Highway 86. There it is in front of you. That one was a requested project. It just took far too long to get done, but we did an allotment of ARPA grant dollars, did get that done and that hydrant in and ready for use.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yep. An update on our, just in our West Point system. I'll touch on the water real fast, which is not on the slide, but District 1 took over ownership of the West Point's water and sewer system in late 2023. Right out of the gate, we replaced all the water meters, all of the fixed-base meter reading equipment with those water meters, and that was an investment of over $100,000 just in the West Point water system to get it up to where we wanted it to function. And that was done in 2023. So in 2024, we turned our attention to the sewer system on what improvements need to be made there. We invested $140,000 in the sewer system in 2024 in West Point. And if you can make out the two pictures there, they're side by side, but our crew put the boat dock lift station, Mayor Cerisi will know which one that one is, but we were able to put it back into service. We connected the force main pipe there, and that was down a pretty serious, the picture on the left of your screen, that's a pretty serious slope on both sides that we had to get an excavator into and put that blue force main pipe in there to get that reconnected so that pump station could actually pump its wastewater from point A to point B, because that line had completely broken and separated and the pipe was about to float away to Salt River. But our crews went in and did that work all in-house, and I just want to highlight their skill set and what they can do, and I got a few other highlights on just how skilled our certified staff is and what they can do. But other little quick highlights is we CCTV'd and jet cleaned the entire West Point wastewater gravity collection system. We returned the boat dock when I touched on. We rebuilt a clarifier in the wastewater plant. We rebuilt an electrical panel at the wastewater plant. We replaced a pump in one of the pump stations and put a sampler in, but all that, we've got the system running pretty well. Everything always needs constant attention, but it's doing much better with some time and attention and some money thrown at it can always improve some stuff. Our Marvin's Lift Station renovation project, this one's ARPA grant funded. We're very appreciative of those dollars. This one is a reoccurring overflow situation where we get any kind of a modest rain event. The manholes upstream of this lift station will overflow. So this project is going to put a new wet well in, new pumps, a new force main, a larger, but we're going to increase the capacity of this pump station by 100%. We're going to double its capacity. And we're going to make the wet well 5 feet deeper, gives us a little bit more storage capacity. So this project should eliminate those overflows that have been a reoccurring problem for quite some time. So we're very appreciative of the funding to be able to get this improvement done in that particular area. The Beverly's Mobile Home Park Lift Station Elimination Project, it's very similar to the Marvin's Lift Station project just spoke about. If perhaps you can remember my presentation last year, this lift station seems to attract automobiles flying off the side of Highway 31W, and it makes it inoperable when vehicles completely clean it off the side of the road. So we are removing the Beverly's Mobile Home Park lift station, putting in some gravity sewer. Those blue circles you see there's new manholes, and that sewer system will flow over to the industrial lift station on the top right of your screen, and we'll do some renovations at that lift station to allow it to handle the capacity. And we're essentially consolidating 2 lift stations into one, and that one just needs a little bit more capacity to handle that. It's estimated to be an $800,000 project, and we have $630,000 of KIA cleaner water dollars to help fund that. This project and the Marvin's one I just went past, but they are at the Division of Water. I expect those to be bid in April, just next month, and the construction to start on both of those in June. And construction time period on those projects is probably 3 to 6 months, and the lead time on the pumps is probably the biggest thing. So I'll tell you, it's not always good news. This is our Boone Trace lift station. It's at the end of East Lincoln Trail in Radcliffe. It rained 4.35 inches in this particular area of our system on February 15th and 16th when the heavy rains came through the area. This whole area typically drains via a sinkhole. Well, there was so much saturation on the ground and just a number of things just didn't go well. We became a lift station here floating in the water, and that didn't fare well because all the electrical infrastructure at that pump station went underwater. And whether you have a generator or not, electricity and water don't work. It all became completely inoperable from that rain event. I want to highlight our crews. There's not been a contractor on site at this pump station. We were able to bring in a bypass pump. We were able to pump this storm water away from this scene, get it across the road where it would flow away naturally, and get to at least where we could access the site. This is our bypass pump. It's installed. The whole station runs off this diesel pump now because we don't have any electrical infrastructure there that works. But I can say we do have on-staff team members. We have one of our electricians is rebuilding a temporary electrical panel so that we can get this lift station back in service on at least 1 or 2 pumps. And again, that's all being done with our in-house resources. We haven't had a contractor on site yet. So that generator in the corner there, kind of cream colored, is probably a total loss because once all the electronics and everything inside there get submerged, they'll probably never recover. So pretty substantial damage there, but we're coming out of it. On the other end of this pump station I just showed you is the force main. So that pump station pumps to our Radcliffe wastewater treatment plant, which you see in the picture. You awarded us $50,000 of grant dollars for us to increase the capacity of that pump station via making the force main larger. So currently that red line you see there is a 12-inch diameter pipe, and we're going to make it an 18-inch diameter pipe. That's going to increase the flow from this pump station by 12%, and that's going to really help with these stormwater, high flow situations where lots of inflow and infiltration get into the sewer system, which is inevitable. This is going to help reduce those overflows and keep all the water in the system rather than escaping the system. So we're very appreciative of the ARPA grant dollars to be able to get that force main project going. Another project we have at the Radcliffe wastewater treatment plant is to take an abandoned part of that plant, and we're going to retrofit it and put it into use. So that yellow rectangle you see, there's an abandoned section of the plant. We're going to turn that into a gravity thickener. So wastewater sludge will go into that tank, and we're going to put a rake system in that tank to manage the sludge. But that whole process is going to allow us to thicken our sludge. Sorry for the wastewater lesson, but when you thicken the sludge, then it goes to the digesters. And digesters are called that for a reason, because we're actually able to biologically break down the sludge into its natural components, which is, water, ammonia, nitrogen, things like that. When we do that, that whole conversion process will allow us to haul 50% less sludge to the Pearl Hollow landfill. When this project is done, it just went out to bid last week. When it's done, we will haul 1,000 tons less of sludge to the Pearl Hollow landfill every year due to this project. We estimate it's about $250,000 to bring it to completion, and you graciously award us $125,000 of ARPA grant funds to go toward it to get it done. And it's out to bid now. Hopefully it'll be done in 4 to 6 months. That's just zooming in on what the tank looks like now. And then the sketch there on the center, lower center of your screens, the rake system that will kind of be in that tank. It'll move the sludge along the bottom of the tank to the pumps, which will pump it to the digesters, and it'll go from 0.05% solids to 3.5% solids. And that's all a bunch of jargon, but I'll tell you, it's a game changer. It really is a significant game changer. Some of our community outreach stuff I'll touch on. That's Cameron Cochran. He's our Pearl Springs Water Treatment Plant Supervisor. He went to the Back to School event at North Hardin High School in July. Our Water Quality Measurement Specialist went to the budget fair at James T. Alton Middle School, participated in that. And then our Water Operations Manager, he also went to North Hardin High School on a different adventure to help us 3 groups of students there with their all-take All Tech Innovation Challenge competition. So when opportunities present themselves and we can, we try to get out and help out and talk about water and educate everybody as much as we can on that kind of stuff. Moving into the end here, I know you guys want to get out in the sunshine, but just touching on some awards. That is a picture of our plaque at our Fort Knox Wastewater Treatment Plant. We'll going to win the Kentucky-Tennessee Water Environment Association Operational Excellence Award for the 17th year in a row at our Fort Knox Wastewater Treatment Plant. And our Radcliffe plant will win the award as well. As you can see, the plaque just keeps adding the years there, but you can get this award as long as you have one or less permit violation, and that sounds kind of gracious. We typically have 0 permit violations, but that's how the award works. As long as you have one or less permit violation, you're eligible for the award. So we're on a good track record at our Fort Knox Wastewater Treatment Plant. Another set of awards at the Central Kentucky Water and Wastewater Operators Association Awards. Our Muldrow Water Treatment Plant at Fort Knox won Outstanding Water Treatment Plant of the Year. Our Radcliffe Wastewater Treatment Plant won Outstanding Wastewater Treatment Plant of the Year. And our Fort Knox Collection System won Outstanding Collection System of the Year. And then I want to highlight a lot here. Mr. Mark Montgomery on the right in the middle of the screen there, he won Wastewater Operator of the Year. Mark has been in the wastewater business for 49 years. Mark has worked at Fort Knox's wastewater system for 46 of those years. Mark still reports to work every day, and he's loving it, and I haven't figured out what makes him keep coming back. I'm going to say it's because we're a great place to work, because I know his wife's a nice lady, so it isn't because his home life's bad. So, but just want to highlight Mark there. Mark will be eligible for the State Wastewater Operator of the Year Award at the KWWA conference in May, and I fully expect with his track record that he should be able to bring home the win there. So kudos to Mark. Last award here I'll highlight. We're just very blessed and appreciative to be able to win the Kentucky Rural Water Association Best Tasting Water Award at the annual conference Kentucky Rural Water does every year. They have a Best Tasting Water contest, and our Purtle Springs Water Treatment Plant won that competition in August of 2024. So just that one doesn't come along very often, so we're just very blessed and glad to highlight that one. That is all I have for you today. I appreciate your time. If you have any questions, I'll be more than glad to entertain them.
I don't have a question. I just want to tell you, Justin, that I really appreciate your direction, your leadership, and your efficiency and effective use of the ARPA funds that we're fortunate to get.
Yes.
It's good to be able to apply those in a way that make a difference for people.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it, and we're glad to have the opportunity to use them.
Thank you.
Many congratulations for multiple awards and the many things that you guys are doing. I really appreciate, though, getting the water out to more of our citizens in the county. I know our target 100%, and we're heading in a good direction. I know it's expensive and hard to find the money to do all of that, but I know a few of those citizens that were directly impacted by that, and I think you all have probably felt, their appreciation for getting good water to their homes. So really wanted to highlight that. Thank you very much.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for the funding to make it possible, really, how that stuff gets going. So thank you.
That's amazing. You just have 10 miles unserved. That's outstanding, and congratulations on that, and congratulations and accolades for the awards. Sounds like you have an amazing staff, and we know you have an amazing board, so great job.
Yep, thank you very much.
Mm-hmm.
All right, thank you. Appreciate it very much.
Appreciate it.
All right, next, Hardin County Water District number 2, Shaun Youravich.
Shaun, did he leave you guys any awards to win? You guys?
Well, Justin will tell you that once you win some of these awards, you're not eligible for them again.
Oh, okay.
So,
there you go.
Yeah, I think last year we had a few on there, and so some of them we're not eligible for again. But Thank
Good
you
answer.
for the introduction. And we were kind of being pressured before we started here, since it's such a nice day. Some folks, and I'm not going to say who, were pressuring us to hurry up with our presentations and so we can get out of here. So if you'd like, I'll start on the last slide. But seriously, I'll go ahead and start with some of our financial information, starting with our sewer department. And sewer department for 2024, we were expecting about $206,000 in revenue, and actually we ended up with about a little under $900,000 in revenue. The reason for the variance there is because the Bosque facility started discharging this past year, so we didn't factor that in on our revenue. But that's why there's a significant difference there. For 2025, we're expecting about a little over $1 million for revenue on the sewer department. Expenses for last year, as you can see, we were expecting a loss of about $216,000, but again, because of the discharge from the Bosque facility, we actually realized about a $400,000 net income for the year. And for this year, 2025, we were expecting about a $300,000 net income for the sewer division. For the water division, last year we had budgeted about $15 million in revenue and actually realized just under $20 million. So that's about a $4.6 million variance. And the reason for that is the significant variance. As you can see in other income or other revenue, we actually obtained or received a grant reimbursement for monies that we had already spent. The second thing that's driving that number was the increase in sales. As you can see, all sales were high or higher than expected, and that was mainly due to the dry season that we had back in the summer and the fall. So for expenses, we estimate, or budget-wise, we had about $16 million, $16.8 million is what we were expecting, and actual was 16.77. So we pretty much nailed our expense budget for the year. That left us with just under $3 million as a net operating income in the water division. For this year, we have budgeted about $19 million in revenue, and that number, the budget number is a little higher than the budget number from last year. And the reason for that is twofold. One is we're expecting to start selling water to the Bosque facility, or that amount is expected to increase this year. And the other part was that we received a rate increase last year, and I'll talk a little more about that in just a second. As far as expenses, we budgeted about $18.5 million for expenses for this year, and that includes depreciation. Just to show quick trending of our revenue expenses. So that top graph shows the last 6 years and then the estimate for this year. So as you can see, our expenses and revenue continues to trend upwards. When you look at our operating margin, last year was a really good year with a 15% margin, and then we're estimating about 3% this year. As I mentioned a moment ago, a rate increase. Last year at this time, we were in the midst of an increase or a rate case with the Public Service Commission. After a year and about 3 months of working on doing a study and then working with the Public Service Commission, they finally issued an order. So July 29th of last year, they issued their order, which was 1 day before their deadline. And they did not give us everything that we asked for, but they did give us some increase. So minimum bill of 2,000 gallon seen a $2.95 increase, and then the average bill, which is about 4,000 gallons, seen a $4.55 increase. So overall, it was just under a 16% increase in our rates. Some rates were actually decreased. Some of our non-reoccurring fees, Public Service Commission actually decreased some of those fees. This is a summary of our debt. So we have 4 outstanding bonds, and then we still have a note with the city of Elizabethtown from when we purchased the city system. And so with the outstanding debt right now, it's just under about $12 million in debt. I threw in some year-end statistics, starting with meter sales for last year. You can see that we sold about 403 meters, and which I think the meter sales is a good indication of the type of construction that we're seeing in the county, the amount of growth. So the trend for last year kind of meets the trends from the previous 4 years, where we've seen elevated numbers in meter sales. So at the end of the day, at the end of the year, that puts our customer count as far as active customers just under 31,000 connections. When you use the factor provided by the Kentucky Division of Water, that means we're serving about 83,000 customers, or 83,000 people, and so that's about 70% of Hardin County. So how does that compare, or how do we compare to other state or other systems in the state? So when you look at all water utilities, including the municipalities, that puts us about the 5th largest in the state. When you look at just water districts, that puts us about the 3rd largest in the state, with Warren County just above us. We used to go kind of back and forth with Warren County, but they are actually seeing a little bit more growth than we are in Warren County. In fact, I think last year, Warren County Water, I think they sold about 1,000 meters last year. Some of the water lines that we installed last year, this is through either developments or through relocations or replacements. All total, just a little over 46,000 feet of water line that we installed, and most all of that our in-house crews done. So it's kind of an indication of how much work that our guys have going on. Another indicator, which I think is a good indicator of how busy some of our crews are, is the number of leaks. So the green bars indicate the number of service line leaks. So that's the line from the main to the meter. And you can see that we had a total of 220 service line leaks for the year. The blue bars are water main leaks that we repaired, and you can see there was a total of 111. 24 of those were due to damage. The remainder of those were due to failing infrastructure. And so I just kind of wanted, I have some data on the slide there, just kind of give an indication of how that compares to other utilities. Because 111, when you start talking about leaks, 111 water main leaks sounds like a lot. But the American Water Works Association, they publish some standards which gives some indications on how a system's performing. So if a system has fewer than 15 breaks per 100 miles of water line, it's considered to be an excellent performing system. 15 to 30 breaks per 100 is considered acceptable. Anything greater than 30 is poor. So when you look at the number of leaks that we have, in this equation, they only use water mains. They don't consider the service lines in that factor or calculation. We had 10 breaks per 100 miles because we have about 1,100 miles of water main. So we were well within the excellent performance category. And when you compare that to other utilities across the U.S., the national average is 25 to 30 breaks per 100 miles. So I think we're faring pretty well with that statistic. Moving along to some of our projects, this is just a short list. It's not all-inclusive, but these are some of the projects that we're either working on or have completed or will be working on. Starting with our customer service enhancement. So there's several things that we've done in the past year or that we're working on right now to help improve customer service. Starting with AMI technology, that's actually a project that we've been working on for a number of years as far as installing technology out in the field, and that will give us that capability to do reading from the office. We had collectors installed over the past few months, and we're currently at a point where we're waiting for our billing software and our meter software companies to integrate the systems. We're currently able to bring in about 20,000 of the 31,000 meter reads into the system. So we're about 70% or 60, almost 70% coverage. We've paid for this all out of pocket. We have a couple $1 million worth of infrastructure that we still need to install. That's what we'll be working on the next couple of years. Once that's complete, that'll bring us to about 98% coverage when it comes to the AMI technology. Another thing that we did last year was implement a utility app. So the QR code on the screen will actually take you to the where you can download the app. But this new app that we rolled out allows customers to do service requests through the app. They can view our outage map. They can view our flushing map. They can get an update on projects. Also has a usage calculator. There's multiple forms available, so if someone wants to transfer service, they can do that, start that through our app. It also allows us to do push notifications. So when we close a road for repair, emergency repair, or what have you, we can do that push notification out through the app to make people aware of that. We also changed payment providers this past year, and by doing so, moving to Invoice Cloud, that really improved the type of payments that customers can make. So now they can receive a bill by text and pay by text. Additional options also include Google Pay, Apple Pay, PayPal, PayPal Credit. Also, customers can now do a one-time payment without having to log into their account. There's also multiple email functions on this, so on this new software that allows us to send out reminders of due dates, past due amounts, and then also provide payment confirmations through email. So some of the, moving away from customer service, some of the projects that we're doing out in the field, again, this is not all inclusive, but one of the ones that I think you are familiar with, we've talked about it at our utility meetings, Gilead Church Road. That's a project that, the state is doing a road realignment, and so there's a lot of infrastructure that we've had to move for the new road, and also it has given us an opportunity to upsize or upgrade the infrastructure that's out there. We're doing this in-house, so our crews are out there working on, or have been out there. They've got quite a bit accomplished so far, but we've had to pull off because the state has run into an issue with some of the easements that they were trying to obtain. This is a project that some of the funds that you all have provided to us is paying for as well. The total project is it's over $2 million, but state's paying for their portion. Anything that was above what the state needed, any of the upgrades, that would be on us. So that the money that you all provided will be paying for that. There's several other relocations that we've done throughout the past year. The new roundabout on Highway 434, we had to relocate some infrastructure there. St. John Road, I know that that's been a mess, and we spent several months out there relocating infrastructure, a lot of services to move. We did that, we finished that up, or at least our portion, this past year. A few other, Hollow Bridge, Meadow Lane, some replacements. Franklin Crossroads, that is one that's on the books. We were looking at plans this morning, trying to get those ready to go to Division of Water. That project will be partially funded through some of the grant dollars that you all provided as well. And then Highway 251 is another state relocation project. They picked that back up again and started pushing us on relocating infrastructure there. That will be from Ring Road out to Highway 434. And we have quite a bit to move throughout there, and we'll actually probably spend 10 to 12 months on that project alone. And again, that'll be our in-house crews doing all that work. Hydration tank, we spoke about this at our last utility meeting as well. Construction has started on this. We had a progress meeting this morning, so that's a 2.5 million gallon tank. Cost a little over $9 million for that project. Caldwell Tank is the contractor who received the bid or won the bid for that. The plan sheet in the center. I think someone had asked, what that tank was going to look like. So this is the plan sheet on it. It's a concrete column with a steel bowl located there off of Overall Phillips Road on the property of the old Coke farm. This will be very visible from the interstate when coming up I-65. If you've been down Bluegrass Parkway lately, Bardstown is building the tank. It's the same style, same type tank. You can see it right there on the parkway, except this one's going to be 1.5 times bigger than the one that they're building there in Bardstown. The tower on the right, of the photo on the right, that's the existing tower that's in Glendale. That tower will be decommissioned once this new tank is completed and in service. This is the downtown tank, which is located on the property of the Elizabethtown High School. And it's a 750,000 gallon tank. And cost of it's a little 5 Caldwell tank. Also got this project. And someone had asked about the logo that was going to be on this tank. So I don't know if you can see that very well, but that's a rendition of what the logo will look like. In our agreement with the city school board, we were to put the logo that they requested on the tank. So that's what will be on the tank. Construction on that has started, at least the ground clearing has started. Both tanks, the hydration tank and downtown tank, will be built simultaneously. And we'll start to see foundation work within the next couple weeks on both tanks. Unserved roads. So again, some of the money that you all have provided will go towards construction of about 8 miles of water line on Highway 720 in Melrose. Currently, we have about 34 miles in our service territory that is unserved, that does not have a water line on it. And so that puts currently we're at 96.9% coverage in our service territory. So once we complete these 2 roads, that will bring the coverage area to 97.7%. And we expect, again, our crews will do this so we can make the funds go further. And we expect to start on this sometime in this year. Highway 313 regional transmission main. So we currently have a connection with Louisville Water down Colesburg area, and we have a single line that comes from that connection up into the heart of our system. And right now, Louisville has a capability of providing 5 million gallons per day to us at that location. Our contract with Louisville, they're expected to expand that to 11 million gallons per day by 2030. We had a little bit of concern about one connection and all of that volume coming through one connection. We wanted a little bit of redundancy. So working with Louisville Water, they have agreed they're actually bringing a secondary line from Louisville, so we're not relying on the single line that's coming up from there now. And then our intent is to create a second connection there in Colesburg area and drive a 30 and 24-inch water main up Highway 313 all the way to Patriot Parkway, and then also spur off onto Shepherdsville Road and bring it into our 24-inch in town. The Patriot Parkway connection, this will connect to a 16-inch water main that's currently there. The great part about that particular point, it's also a point where we have connection with District 1. So with completion of this project, this allows us to bring more water into our system, but also have the ability to bring more water into District 1 system, and then ultimately they could bring more water into Meade County system. So that's kind of why this is has a title of regional, or regional in the name, in the title. This project is expected to cost around $54 million, and we don't have any funding for this project yet. So if y'all know where we can find some funds, we'll be happy to talk to you about that. So the Southern Hardin County Sewer Study, this you're familiar with as well. Strand & Associates completed that in November, and our board adopted that in December. I know they came and did a presentation at one of the utility meetings. So our next steps on that is to negotiate a contract amendment with the City of Elizabethtown for treatment and then do some project prioritization. So we met with the city last week, and it was a short meeting. We both agreed to all the same terms. So the amendment is now in the hands of the attorneys, so they're working on the language. As far as the prioritizing the projects, if you recall, in that study, Strand had identified 3 different phases, and the first phase was a 1 to 5 year, and there's about 4 different projects within that 1 to 5 year phase. Strand is currently working on creating project profiles for those, and expect to have those done in the next couple of weeks. That will allow us to put those onto the WRIS system, and then the projects would then be eligible for funding if any funding were to come available. Some of our community outreach and accomplishments, we've had 4 individuals that received, obtained certifications this past year. So we had Natalie Colgate, who was a trainee, obtained her 4A treatment certification. We had Ryan, who's our laboratory water quality manager, received a certification in distribution. We had our plant manager received a distribution certification as well, and then we had another trainee, Mark Gibbert, who received a certification in treatment. So we now have over 40, I think it's 45 of our employees who have certifications, several of them holding dual certifications. And again, I think if you recall last year, we talked a little bit about certifications, and Justin talking about the number of folks that they have certified. Hardin County has the highest number, or the most number of certified treatment and distribution operators across the whole state. So we're pretty proud of that. We had Nick Smith, who obtained a certification in wastewater collection. Then we had Tyler Lindquist, who obtained a meter bench certification. We have several employees who also have that certification. And then we had 3 individuals who obtained CDL license this past year, which I'm sure you all know the laws changed on that, and they've made it much more difficult to get CDL. So we followed the county's lead on that, and we are now a certified training center. So we train our own employees to obtain their CDLs. And then we had a few things here. We had Beth Boone, who's our accounts receivable manager. She received the Outstanding Customer Service Award through the Kentucky-Tennessee AWWA, or American Water Works Association. We've had Ryan, who was elected as director of the Central Chapter of the Kentucky Water Operators Association. John Cruz, plant manager, he was elected as the vice chair for the Central Chapter of the Water Operators Association. He was also appointed by Governor Brashear to serve on the Board of Certification for the water and wastewater operators. And then we had Forrest Pollock, who completed Water Professionals Leadership Academy through AWWA. And then some of our community outreach, we continue to do a lot of things out in the community. We continue to visit many of the schools throughout the year. In fact, this is the time of the year right now where we'll start visiting a lot of schools, getting a lot of requests. So we're doing a lot of career days, a lot of reality stores, and so forth. And then we're also doing things out in the community like the plant fair. Will be a Good Neighbor Day tomorrow, as well as we have another rain garden workshop that is scheduled. We did that last year, and which turned out to be a pretty popular event. So we're, again, staying busy out in the community. And then I just threw this slide in here. I don't know if y'all seen News Weekly last week published the ranking for water systems across the U.S. And you can see that Kentucky was number 3 for best drinking water in the U.S. So I think we're proud to be in a state and serve for systems in a state that is considered one of the top in the U.S. So we're proud of that. So that's what I have. Y'all can take any questions.
I just wanted to say thanks again. Again, another great presentation. Please congratulate the team on so many, so many awards, and that's impressive. That last slide in all the United States to be 3rd. I questioned Delaware. I'm not sure how that got in there, but But yeah, it's impressive. Just appreciate what you guys, again, the same comment on extending out into the county. I know you got a lot of miles of road and a lot of residences to try to touch, but getting up there to the 97, 98% and down into the 20-some miles at the end of this year, I guess, yet to go. So appreciate that. Again, I know that's difficult and expensive, but people really do need that service. Many of them just don't have very good wells. And so I'd really appreciate y'all's work on that. So congratulations to the board, to both teams. This is a good opportunity with both of you here to benchmark each other and find out where you can, learn from each other. And I know you guys do get together pretty frequently to do that type of thing. So just a lot of appreciation for what you all do. You serve this county in a tremendous way, and we need water, and good water, and ours tastes good. So that's just icing on the cake. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Shaun, I've got a quick question for you. I know you mentioned the 34 miles of unserved territory. Do you have any kind of goal or timeline for that? I know that's a tough question, but in particular, I'm asking about that other side of Woolridge Ferry, because I get questions on that. Is there any movement? Or?
Well, some of that's going to come down to funding. As I mentioned, that Regional 313 project. When we bring that through 313, we'll be able to cross that road that you're referring to.
Yes.
Our intent is at that time, hopefully, we could become more serious about being able to serve that road. But as far as the remaining roads out in the county, I don't want to sit here and say that some of them will never be served, because that's not a good thing to say. But I can say that we have canvassed all of those roads, and some of them we have absolutely zero interest on. So it makes no sense to run a line down a road where nobody wants water. You just can't do that. That's not to say that won't change. So we'll continue to canvass these roads and revisit and look at our surveys, and as that changes, then our plan will change. So as far as a plan to say when we would serve all of them, there's not really a plan other than we continue to monitor, and we'll work them in as
Sure.
needed. So.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate everything you do. You guys are doing a great job, and thank you to your staff and your board, and appreciate everything you're doing here in Hardin County. And the water does taste great, absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Well, appreciate all of you all as well. So, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate you. All right. Next up is Hardin County Conservation District report. Vincent Thompson.
Hello, Judge and Squires. Appreciate y'all having us here today. Being that we have a well just northeast of Purtle Springs, I wanted to let them know that I've said that for years, that we've got the best water. So I'm glad that they've finally been recognized for that. So, Mr. Metz, I'm glad y'all got that award. And then the same thing with our water. So Hardin County Soil and Water Conservation District is our full name. So just to reiterate all the comments that all the magistrates and judges said, so we agree. So I have brought before you our 25-26 budget. You can look through that at your leisure if you have any questions. And I've also brought a check.
I like that.
Dead animal removal. We're happy that we're still partnering with you all in that endeavor. I wanted to speak a little bit about that because many people don't realize that those funds are tied to tobacco settlement funds. And that pool of money is fast dwindling. It will likely be 3 to 5 years when there will be other conversations being had on where this type of funding is coming from. So just want everybody to be appreciative of the forethought that people had to get that money put aside for these types of purposes. Any questions regarding the budget? I would like to present the check. And if we could do a picture at the end like we normally do, we don't have to do it right now, I don't want to interrupt business.
Okay.
But with the budget being taken care of, I will also address our plan of work, which is in your packet as well. So the plan of work did not change. We did not really do anything to update that. The only thing we did update were the standing committees we have for financial, budget, education, scholarship, and then the executive and personnel. These members are all on the board, all supervisors elected onto there, and each of these committees meets at least once a year, sometimes multiple times a year, to take care of the business that they're responsible for.
Okay, any questions? All right, thank you, and we'll just remind us at the end of the meeting, we'll get a picture with you with the check.
Judge, if I may ask you and the board, Squires, I made an announcement the other day, and you were privy to it as you were at our banquet, but I'd like the permission of the Fiscal Court to make that same announcement.
Yes, go ahead, please.
I have decided to run for U.S. Senator. I hope that my time in this position, I've been welcoming and forthcoming in my want to partner with each and every one of you all to better the county. And I hope that I can continue that same path with the state. So, again, thank you all for everything you've done with me throughout the years. I will be in this position until the end of 2026. I cannot file for both offices, and my term will be requiring me to file for supervisor this November, so I cannot do that. So after 2026, I will not be in this role for the foreseeable future. I can come back to it, you know. But anyway, I appreciate y'all letting me announce that.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Congratulations, good luck.
Congratulations and good luck to you.
All right. Thank you very much. All right, we'll move on then. Department office reports. We'll start out with Public Works. Stephanie Givens.
Good afternoon, Judge and Magistrates.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I didn't touch a button, I'm wrong.
Wrong device.
Just the same? So I have the Solid Waste and Code Enforcement Activity Report, and this will be for January, February numbers. The first slide, the code enforcement for February, he took in 3 new complaints. They were able to close 2 complaints, and then 37 outstanding complaints are still there. And you can see the breakdown of the different types of complaints that we normally take. For our shredding event, here is the year-to-date comparison for the first 3 months of the year. For January, of course, there was a little bit of a drop. We increased quite a bit in February, and it was about the same in March. I'm assuming that we'll probably get quite a few people come in the next couple of months too, because that's typically when people are getting rid of the old tax records and things of that nature, bank statements and things from the previous year. Our recycled trailers, they had a trailer run. We had a total of 46 trailer runs for January. We took in 42,216 pounds of cardboard and 4,457 pounds of paper. For February, we had 30 trailer runs, bringing in 15,900 pounds of cardboard and 2,205 pounds of paper. There were several days that we had bad weather and snow days in February, so not a lot of people got out to visit the trailers, and therefore I think that's why we had such a significant drop there in those numbers. For our dead animal removal program, we did 21 pickups in January and 20 pickups in February. And there at the bottom of the slide is the phone number to the company that you can call if you have an animal to be picked up. And you see the breakdown there of each one for the month. This is our Platform Waste Solutions landfill activity report. So this is for the month of January. They had an average completion time of being done by 4 p.m. on all of their routes out in the unincorporated area. For their average time spending at the landfill is roughly about 16 minutes per truck. And they're taking in almost 70 tons a day to the landfill being dropped off for the unincorporated area. And that was for the month of January. For February, their time went from 4 o'clock to 4:10 p.m., which is really not too bad considering some of the weather days that we had. The average time at the landfill was increased to about 20 minutes per truck. And still about the tonnage was the same. We had 68.86 tons of trash taken in to the landfill for the month of February. This slide here shows how many people were able to get on our website and view to find the closest recycle trailer to their location. It was viewed from January 4th through March 5th about 345 times, which is an average of 5.75 people each day. They can go in and put their address from their home, they can put their address from their current location, and it will search and tell them what's the closest trailer to them to be able to utilize. Upcoming Saturday hours for the landfill. The next one is going to be Saturday, April the 12th from 7 to 2. The phone number there is located at the second bullet point there in case you have questions about that. This is our 2025 shredding days every month that we do that. And our next one is going to be April the 1st, and it will be down at the Hardin County Road Department, located at Bacon Creek Road. And all of this information too as well is on our website. So upcoming events, this is a big one, the 2025 tire collection event. It will be at the old landfill off of Springfield Road. The address there is 3870 Rucker Road. This is going to be March 27th and 28th and 29th. That's Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. This event, we only do this event every 3 years, so it's really, really important that if you have waste tires to get rid of, you don't miss out on this opportunity to get rid of them for free. This is not just county-wide, this is statewide, so you don't have to be a Hardin County resident only. As long as you have a Kentucky state ID, then you're eligible to utilize this event. The next event we have will be our e-scrap event. It has changed a little bit this year from last year, so we will be accepting TVs and monitors again this year. And it is going to be a little bit further out into the year. It'll be May 10th. We normally do it in April. So again, we're trying to get that information out to everybody to make sure that they are aware that it will be happening May this year. It will be back at AGC Automotive America's plant. That's on Highway 62 from 8 to 2 p.m. And then our first free dump day for the year is going to be May 31st from 7 to 2 out at the landfill on Audubon Trace. And we'll talk some more about these in our upcoming presentations as well. And this is just a reminder of where all the different locations are for all of our recycled trailers. Do we have any questions?
I do want to just thank you and the team for starting that new metric of understanding how long it takes for the trucks to get in and out of the landfill. It's part of the, I think, the efficiency of understanding what impact that has, and over some time we'll be able to understand what the trends are, and if there's a longer period or even a shorter period, understanding how that happened and try to remedy that, because that, at the end of the day, would affect how long it takes them to do their routes. So, I think that has been helpful and took some work to do that.
Absolutely. And it does, like you said, it does cause time for them to be at the landfill. How much time are they having, and how much time is it taking them to break off their route to get to the landfill? Because normally, most of the days of the week, they're so far out in the community that it's roughly a good hour and 15 minutes of turnaround time to go and empty out and get back on the route to continue picking up. So they have to account for that as well throughout their workday.
Stephanie, I didn't notice on your slides, but what's the average number of trips that each truck would have to make to the landfill during the day?
Typically, it's just one time a day.
Okay.
Now, sometimes when you fall behind some of your holidays, if there's gift giving during those holidays, of course, it's a lot worse. Sometimes it might be 2 times. But most of our trucks will hold roughly about 13 to about 19 tons of trash. So, and they usually, I think Thursday and Fridays is their heavier days. They'll have about 8 trucks out. The beginning of the week, Monday, Tuesday, are your lesser routes that they only maybe have 5 to 6 trucks out.
Any other questions? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thank
the
you.
report. All right, next up is engineering, Mark Absher. Hello.
The next, on this, we got our project management. I kind of want to go over some of our projects real quick. I won't take up a lot of your time. You're wanting to go outside, I know, but the roadway safety thing, we're really hopeful we'll get a report back from the state in May to kind of help us look at some of our projects out there, and hopefully we'll get some funding with that as well. The other one is MS4 annual report. We're doing really well on that. I think we're going to be done with that well before they come in and ask for a record file of that. Springfield area alternative, we're looking at that as a possible alternative site. We're doing maps and all other research and stuff. And then Pearl Hollow, we did a deep dive into the bat habitat. There was a lot of discussion about that, and we want to get the facts behind that before we keep going. And then next is GIS. They had a lot of drone flights. I mean, fairly amount, but it's mainly been another maps month with lots and lots of maps. But on the drone flights, Joey actually called up Nick to come out right after that flood, and so they did a lot of flights for this. But the previous slide, I'll go back to that. Whoops. You'll see there, that's an aerial flight for Pearl Hollow, and we did that. Kind of wanted to see what's up there, what we're looking at. And then the next one is, I didn't come across very well, but that's another aerial flight for Pearl Hollow. We flew it from both sides, from where they enter into landfill and over on Miller Road. And then the next slide is the drone flights. You can see Bacon Creek Road. We've got some drone flights for that. And that's back where Joey had called Nick to come out, and I thought it was a great idea. Kind of get some aerials to see what's going on out there, kind of figure out some stuff too. You can see they're kind of a mess, some of our roadways. It's Colesburg Road. And then you got drone flights for Colesburg Road again. And then Miller Road. We got some more of those too. And then you go down to White's Mill. That bridge, I've seen photos of that bridge during this flood event. It was over the bridge. And Joey had asked Nick if I wouldn't mind reaching out to the state inspector. So I got a hold of her, asked her if she wouldn't mind coming out and take a look. They put us on the short list, and they actually came out and looked at the bridge for us and said, hey, can y'all remove some debris from it? Well, otherwise it should be good until May. And Dwight's folks came out there immediately and removed the debris. So we should be good until May. And then they'll come back in May and kind of tell us if there's any other damage that they didn't catch during this review. But it was a nice call to go out there and do this. And then you can see more flood stuff. We're just fascinated with the amount of water that this whole event caused out there. And Nick's also working on some maps that we're trying to see if we can compare what they did for flooding to what we show for flooding, and kind of hopefully predict some future stuff, because some areas the flood people don't count, like sinkholes that back up. They don't count that into their stuff. But we know it floods, we know it causes problems, so we're trying to incorporate some way of incorporating all that stuff as well. We've got lots of subdivision reviews. We've got a couple of new ones that are almost done. One of them is absolutely beautiful. I don't want to brag on which one, but beautiful trees and all that. And we got some development reviews, FEMA reviews. EPSC thing, that was something that we talked about just before this meeting. They gave us new MS4 maps, and the area has increased almost double for what we cover now. And I can explain during Public Works meeting tomorrow what that does for us. All the areas are effective by state regs, and they can come into any site and do their inspections and cite them. But what the MS4 does, it pulls us into the equation. So we're a service person for the citizens out there, for the for sedimentation control, stuff like that, silt fences. But when they go into the MS4, then we become the regulatory body too. So if we don't stop stuff that's inside of our area and the state catches it, they get fined, we get fined. And that's how that works. And so we got a lot bigger area to deal with. And then, and of course, we're working on the stormwater ordinances. There's lots of changes over the last 9-10 years, and we're trying to incorporate some of those into our storm design. And then traffic items. We're working on quite a few different projects. One in particular is the bridge asset management stuff. It's part of the new funding. We have to show where we're maintaining those, and we've been working with the road department on all that stuff. And then two, there was actually no regulation. There were some roads that were under ordinance for no parking, but a lot of them were resolutions, so we've got to kind of visit that too and see what we can do. We'll talk about that during Public Works too. And then that's kind of it. We got KYTC stuff, and then the last slide has to do with the weather. We have a lot of roadways out there that obviously were flooded. And this slide kind of gives you a background on that. It's basically, they've got the don't turn around, don't drown thing on there, but they've got a lot of really good information on there that we were looking into as well. And I think the road department can tell you that part of our problem out there is a lot of people steal these signs. And so that's kind of an ongoing issue and stuff, or it just simply gets moved. And I was trying to find out if that's a violation of a traffic law, because it sounds like you're violating a traffic control device. It's almost like moving a stop sign. So I'm just trying to see if that's something that we could regulate, but I don't know at this point. And that was really it for my report. Any questions at all?
Mr. Absher, on the Pearl Hollow
Yeah.
bad habitat report, you indicated you did a deep dive into all the files. Are you talking about in-house files or state files?
Just the ones we have on our server, and we had a lot. We actually have some state information too, and I've got a report that I prepared for Bonnie. There's mitigation requirements. If a habitat area looks like the bats could live there one day, whether they live there or not, we still have some funding that we have to pay towards in order to take those. And it only applies to permanently removing. Like part of the reason we have the landfill out there, the landfill was put in, but as a trade-off, we actually reserved some bad habitat areas as a trade-off, so we wouldn't have to pay the mitigation. So those areas are permanently off limits for stuff. And then what happened too, when we expanded the landfill later on, we had to pay about $20,000 to this fund. And like I was talking to Patsy yesterday, the Eastern Kentucky Power, I think was the name of the group.
East Kentucky.
Yeah, they went through their great big towers, and every place between us and their other connection point that they crossed these woods, they had to pay like I almost call it a penalty, but mitigation cost to do that, and it cost them about $115,000. And our landfill falls into that category. And I was kind of surprised. There's a lot of stuff I didn't know at all. I'm like, wow, this is really cool stuff. But unfortunately, it also means there's a price tag with any kind of development that removes the trees. Now, if you do other stuff, it doesn't permanently remove the trees, then you're okay. So we ran that by them too. But I was really quite honestly shocked that there's a requirement, even though a lot of normal bats were in there. And there's a lot of people talking about the gray bat. But really in particular, there's a northern long-eared bat that goes into that area too. I mean, that it could be habitat in that area. And then there's different bat aspects to it. Like the one lives on the oak trees, the other is on the water line. So all the blue line streams are protected because of another bat species. And so anything we do out there is going to be kind of tiptoeing to make sure we don't We don't want any fines for not doing the right stuff, but we can do it.
Are you going to provide a copy of that report to Public Works?
Yeah, we can do that for Public Works, absolutely. I think it's really enlightening as to what's going on out there.
I've always been fascinated by where the habitat, or question where the habitat actually is out there, and what kind of timber is in those areas.
Yeah, and part of that too is there's actually, there's a whole, I think, 32-page document that the government puts out. It came out in 2016. It's about bad habitats and where this funding comes from. Like if you do it at certain times of the year, you get like a double fine. I mean, a double penalty. So instead of paying $3,250 per acre to do the clear cut, you could run up to double that per acre. Fortunately, when we did the landfill expansion, we did it in off season. So by doing that, we had a 0.5 factor. So we only had to pay $3,250 times however many acres times 0.5. And there's a whole chart, a whole table and everything. It kind of explains all that out to you. And we can try to provide you with that too. But
We didn't have to pay that fee. Republic did they?
well, I don't know who wrote the checks for it, but it came out of somebody's check. And when we did the landfill expansion, I think that was all ours. Now, if future expansions, that might be Republic has to pay that. And we don't know yet. They've got a road they're going to try to do back there. We haven't heard back from them yet if they're actually going to, you know, if they're aware that they have to do the bad habitat for that road removal. Because they got to remove a lot of trees for that. And by doing that, they're going to have to pay that mitigation cost. So that will be Republic paying for that one. But again, I was kind of shocked. It really was. And we'll try to get you all that information too. Was there
Any other
anything else?
questions, comments? All right, thank you. Good report.
Well, thanks.
Thanks, Mark.
Thank
Yeah, I'm
you.
glad Stephanie accidentally picked that up. I probably would have. Thanks.
All right. Next, Road Department, Dwight Morgan.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
I have the January and February Road Department report for you. Encroachment permits are down about about 20%, excuse me, about 20%. I think a lot of that was due to the weather. Road signs, there's a good thing about bad weather. We don't have road signs taken, so we're down on our road sign. Daily work activities for the months of January and February pretty much was snow removal and road flooding and road closures. And this is kind of a look in the rearview mirror. For January and February of 2025, your snow, ice, and rain events. As Mark already showed you, the White Mills Bridge there, the water was over the bridge. I think at one time there was a sign up, I thought it was 1891, was when that bridge was put in place. So there's been a lot of water run underneath that bridge over the years, and it's still standing. So right underneath that, you'll see Old Kentucky 84. That large picture there, Mark already showed you a picture of that, but that's actually a road underneath all of the corn stalks that's on the road, and your road department got to clean that off. So we had 2 or 3 roads with a lot of corn stalks, a lot of fodder, a lot of bean stubble on it, but we got them cleaned off. It causes lots of problems. I can't tell you which event this photo is on the left. I did have a call. It's me on the front truck pulling our sign guy out. It's just one of many different record calls that we did in-house. We only actually, out of all the storms that we only had to call one wrecker. And it wasn't a huge deal. The picture to the right, you'll see trees that had fallen across the road. During that first storm, we had ice. It caused a lot of problems with trees falling. I think we had about 40 trees during that event. They had to be cleaned up. Obviously, we've got a snowplow that's gone up a hill, and he's stuck. He's waiting for some help to get there to get that cleared off so he can continue on plowing the snow. Here's what January and February looked like. From the 4th through the 9th, we had ice, snow, and downed trees. January 11th, we had snow. January the 19th through the 21st, we were cleaning up snow. We were retreating roads multiple days, cleaning those roads. February 11th, we had snow. We moved right into the 15th. We had 5.5 inches of rain, which you saw the photos of the flooding, and what you didn't see is landslides. We had some landslides that had to be taken care of and removed from the road, and down trees with that. February the 18th through the 20th, we had another snow event. So that's pretty much what we did in the months of January and February. So I got back, I can't tell you which event, I think it was the last one. It was on a Saturday afternoon, Saturday night, and I decided I was going to check to see what our average usage was on our salt. I was able to go back 10 years, so there you go. It's 450 tons per year is our average. Estimated 2025 salt usage to date is 1,200 tons. Cost of 1,200 tons at $104.59 a ton is $125,508. That's what your road department has spread out on these county roads to date. And that being said, was it the 20th was the last event, 18th through the 20th. I still see some residue of salt. I've seen some salt piles coming over here just a few minutes ago on Bacon Creek Road. So there's still remnants of salt out on the road. So your 24-25 road department salt budget was $80,000. So you can see that we far exceeded our salt budget this year. Any questions? All right. You all have a good afternoon.
Thanks, Dwight.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dwight. Appreciate your team.
Yeah.
I think the one thing that a lot of people didn't understand is when we have that kind of flooding is that we have to clear the roads with debris. And that's just something that you don't think about. Yes.
I'm glad you brought that up. During that flooding event, we spent, that was a weekend. I had a young man that was on call, and he spent somewhere around 35 hours of overtime during that week. So he basically didn't get much sleep, and we had several crews out. I know somebody mentioned a while ago, I'm not sure who it was, our barricades. We will have barricades that get vandalized. They'll get thrown out into the water, and they disappear. So there's just a lot of things that goes on during that time, but it was a very, very busy time. So thanks again.
All right.
Appreciate you.
Yes. All right. There's some written reports available from Animal Control, Mike McNutt, and Emergency Management, Joey Scott, and from Planning, Adam King. All right, we'll move on to citizens' concerns or comments. Do we have anyone with any comments, concerns at this time? All right, seeing none, we'll move on then to the consent agenda. Let's review those items. The first two are your typical financial claims and recurring claims, training incentives, those types of things. Also, Resolution 45 is related to approval of financial transfers. The next two items are personnel, 46 and 47, regarding EMS personnel and road personnel. And then the last item on here is approval of Resolution 48, related to approval of detention center policy and procedure manual 2025-2026. Does anyone want to remove any of these items? If so, just call out the number. Okay. Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the consent agenda?
So moved.
Second.
Catch that. Okay, let's go ahead and have a roll call then.
Squire Clem?
Yes.
Squire Hicks?
Yes.
Squire Muse?
Yes.
Squire Pennington?
Yes.
Squire Saltzman?
Yes.
Squire Thompson?
Yes.
Squire Whitehead?
Yes.
Squire Yates?
Yes.
Judge Shaw?
Yes, motion passes. All right, we'll move on then to any comments. Our county attorney, sit in for our county attorney here. Don Jones, do you have anything?
I always appreciate when I'm substituting in that you guys don't pitch me any curveballs. So once again, I got to sit here and learn some stuff. So thank you.
Yeah, thanks for being here. County clerk.
Nothing from me, thank you.
Thank you. All right, for our magistrates, Magistrate Yates.
The only thing I have is our next emergency service committee meeting will be this Thursday at 3:30.
Okay, thank you. Magistrate Saltzman.
No, thank you.
Magistrate Whitehead.
Yes, the next resources and community support committee meeting will be Monday, March 17th at 3:30 across the hall. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Clem.
The next Finance Committee meeting will be Tuesday, March the 18th at 3:30 across the hall. Judge, I'd like to use my time, if you would, please.
Sure.
I want to use it to talk briefly about our last court meeting and my exchange with you. A little history, I moved to consider a resolution that came out of committee with no objections, and you ruled the motion out of order and read a prepared script from the administrative code. Anyone that I've served with over these almost 15 years now knows that I'm passionate about the functionality of the court. And I was somewhat shocked about the move, and I allowed my passion, built up frustrations to allow me to lose my composure, and I regret that. And I just wanted to make that clear. I've had individuals ask me about the resolution. I won't go into that. We'll talk about that in the committee, but I just want to make that statement to the court, and also remind folks, please don't drink and drive and don't text and drive.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Pennington.
No comments, sir.
All right. Magistrate Thompson.
I need to apologize for my lateness.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Hicks.
I have nothing.
Magistrate Muse.
I'd like to remind everyone the next Public Works Committee meeting's tomorrow at 3:30 across the hall.
All right, thank you. Next fiscal court is Tuesday, March 25th at 5:30 p.m. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second?
Picture.
All right. And any objections? Meeting is adjourned.